We getting seed money. We need seed money. That's that seed money. We need that.
Introduction. These books are...
Introduction? Yeah, but introduction to what? What is this? You're just introductioning up to people. All right, so this is the first book of the Generational Health series, right? This is the first book. It's called what? What's the title of this book?
Atoms of Self-Development.
Atoms of Self-Development. Atoms of Self-Development. Come on, you can't be shy. You gotta say it like you when. Okay, look, just think that nobody's looking. Just come on, just say it out loud, lady. All right, so now we ready for you to bust out the introduction. Now we know what you introducing us to. Now you can,
Introduction. These books are to be read as a family to create this.
Don't rush, hold up. You gotta slow it down. Relax. Come on, look. Yep, in your nose, out your mouth. Come on. Come on, lady. All right, now that you're relaxed, everybody, you got your vibe.
These books are to be read as a family to create discussions, group learning, group sharing. This is how we build generational health, learning and teaching as a family. Chemistry
Hold up. You can't listen. You can't just fly through it, okay? It's going to be a lot of people in the YouTube world, like 100 people. They all going to be watching, right? You can't just go fast. You got to relax. So do you want to say peace or anything to the people out there? Tell them to go get the books.
Go get my dad's books. They're pretty good.
And we are...
Peace to the family. This is Abdul Ali, candidate for U.S. House District 12 here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's just be real, folks. The Democrats have destroyed our major cities. Their policies have made us less safe, they've given us less economic opportunity, and they've provided less educational opportunities for our children. And that's why I'm running for Congress, because I know what it takes to improve these issues. I've got great working relationships already in D.C. I've spent the last 10 years of my life building my political resume so that one of us, somebody who thinks like we do, could get into D.C. and make a difference. I want you to visit aliforcongress.com to find out more about my campaign. The Democrats have already done enough, and now they're putting illegal aliens in front of people like you and me, folks whose ancestors built this country and made it what it is today. So again, I'm asking you to support me in my run for U.S. House District 12 here in North Carolina. You don't have to live in North Carolina to support, because what happens in Congress affects the entire country. So again, it's aliforcongress.com. I hope to have your support. Peace and love, y'all.
If 85% of the media is controlled by the Democrat and their agenda, who do you think is going to be on the team? I don't know why black people have this idea that every other black person is in their group. Like, yeah, everybody that's skin ain't kin. I don't know why y'all think we all in one homogenous group. Like, we're this monolithic group. We're not.
Now, let me slow this down, because I'm a super fan of LeBron. Me and Chase have lifetime memories that are tied to, like, I had Chase right when LeBron was ascending. So the first 10 years of Chase's life, LeBron is in the finals competing for the Larry O'Brien. Now, mind you, coming from the Bronx,
coming from the Bronx, the NBA was everything, right? That was just either the streets as a he said the streets is a shortstop. Either you're slinging crack rock or you got a wicked jump shot, right? Like that's one of the classic lines that will live in hip hop Hall of Fame forever, right? So it was mind blowing when you brought to my attention, when you asked me, well, who's, everybody's trying to get this Larry O'Brien trophy. Who's Larry O'Brien? Like, look that up and get back to me.
Yeah, I remember that conversation.
Conversation got heated because this is a not for y'all. Let me take this nigga off the screen for a second. For y'all that don't know, he's not even a basketball guy. So I felt like he violated my basketballology. Like I was violated right up until the moment that I pull up Larry O'Brien. I listen, it was like one of them X-Files moments. It was listen, imagine the music. Like it was an X-File moment. It was it was one of those like damn, what do they call that? Where you thought you remembered something one way, but it actually wasn't that way. Like
the Mandela effect moments, kind of, right?
The Mandela effect kicked in, the Matrix, like all of those things. Because you think in the game, now you're thinking the politics of the game. Of course, it's politics. It's big money in basketball. So of course, it's politics, but you're not thinking politics like politics. You're thinking there's politics in the game.
Right.
It never dawns on you to ask the question, why are the NBA team owners like, is their title governor? Like we never address the fact that team owners are called governors. Like that's actually their title. These are governors.
Right.
And then the Larry O'Brien trophy, like you're competing for the Democrat,
and it was not a matter of opinion. I promise y'all, it was not my opinion. I'm just saying, bro, I love the game of basketball. Not as much as I love, combat sports, but I'm a fan of Michael Jordan. I'm a fan of Kobe. I leaned away from it because of what I found out. Now, for those who don't think basketball and professional sports as a whole is politically motivated, ask yourself a question. Who gives the zoning permit for an arena? Go try to build an arena and come back to me. You and 20 of your friends get together that got some money and say, we're going to build a 20,000 seat arena, and watch the roadblocks you run into. There's something called the Zoning and Planning Commission. You're going to run in there. You're going to go, we got all the money we need. You still won't be able to get it done. Think about this. If you don't think professional sports are directly connected to politics, in the sense of politics, your zoning permit, every dime that's generated in a sports arena is overcharged. You know how expensive it is to go to a game. Where do you think that tax money goes? To your local municipality. That makes up part of the budget where the arena's at, for the paving of the roads and the salaries and the. So let's stop acting like this isn't political here. Remember this whole conversation? Like, the politicians ain't gonna get in the way because they get a budget every year. They look at the budget and they go, Madison Square Garden generated $800 million for us in sales tax revenue. Yeah, let them get that permit to expand. Yeah, go ahead and just let them get that permit to go add an addition to. So not to get us too far off the subject, but the reality of it is that a lot of these things are political, and they have political rent.
Well, to take it a step, to go back more specifically to where you was going, the U.S. Olympics just happened. And the largest controversy to the men's basketball team was that Jaylen Brown was not allowed on the team. Jaylen Brown was not only just won the championship with the Boston Celtics, but he was the MVP of the team winning the championship with the Boston Celtics. And the U.S. Olympics Committee, led by Grant Hill and some other folks, picked 3 people from the Boston Celtics team to make it abundantly clear that you are snubbed. They got 2 starters and then grab somebody that rotates from the bench. Sometimes he's a starter, sometimes he's a bench guy. Like, instead of getting the finals MVP because of his political conversation, his political acumen, his political activity, his association with Kyrie Irving, who was also snubbed and wasn't allowed on the team. And so the conversation surrounding these guys, and this is the biggest controversy of the Olympics, is how is Jaylen Brown not allowed on the team?
I have a bigger issue with it.
How is Kyrie not allowed on the team? And Nike comes into question, right?
I got a question.
Well, hold on. Here's where I'm going with this, because you open up this door inadvertently. Nike comes into question, and again, you know, buddy team politics. People are saying, oh, well, maybe somebody that's on the team said they didn't like this person. All of these things come into question. Nobody ever opens the door and says, what about the politics? Because we're talking about international commerce now. And we're talking about huge companies, right? So now we having this conversation, and you kind of bridging the gap between the politics that we don't necessarily see, and the connection between corporate interests and how that may trickle down into what we do see and some of the things we may not understand. So I just wanted to put that on the table for the people. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily.
I just got one beef.
Yeah.
I got one beef with the men's basketball team. They should not have let LeBron carry that.
Why you was mad at? That's crazy. Why was you mad at the?
Have you heard any of his anti-American rhetoric of how terrible America is and how bad of a country this is? I thought that was a slap in the face to America, to give him, of all the teammates, you, Mr. China himself, get to carry the American flag.
I'm blinded. I'm biased and blinded. So
no, that's fine, but that's a personal thing. That's my personal thing. I do want to point out though that previously, Mrs. Brittany Griner, who was arrested and went to jail in Russia, who stood during the national anthem, reneged on that whole position, hand on the heart, in tears when the American anthem played. So I love to see that, because here's the thing, and I'll say this, and I have no reservations about my position on it. If you think people are happier other places, if you one of these people that think socialism works so well and Norway and Sweden and Denmark are better places, why are you still here? Why are you still here? If you mean to tell me somewhere exists with what you want to bring here, why not go?
You know, that those conversations actually popped up because, so here's what the NBA does. The NBA lets the people with dual citizenship go represent their own country during the Olympics if they want. And most people go do that. Joel Embiid had the opportunity to represent France. He turned it down. So everywhere throughout the Olympics, the French people was booing him, and because the Olympics was in Paris, so they was booing him everywhere. The newspapers was going crazy on Embiid, and even a lot of people here was against Joel Embiid. And I'm saying to myself, I even had to have the conversation with Chase and Caleb about it. I'm like, listen, if I was Joel Embiid, I would do the same thing.
Yeah, I need that gold. I ain't going away from
not even for the gold. Not even for the gold. My stance was, because, for me, everything has got to be reciprocal. And, Joel Embiid is like, listen, the opportunities I got here are the reason why people even know my name around the world. The way my children are going to come up, the wealth that we created, all that happened right here. So if I represent anybody on the international stage, I'm going to represent.
Yeah, no, I applaud that. I applaud that. And
so I'm like, yo, these people come from places where they got no opportunity. They come here, get the opportunity, get 100 million, and then go represent somewhere else. I'm like, yo, that might be
hold up. This happens, and this is again, and always for me, it's gonna always come back to politics. So in our Congress right now, you have people like Ilhan Omar, okay, out in Michigan, from Ethiopia. If I'm not mistaken, she's from Ethiopia or Eritrea. One of them, I believe, it's Ethiopia. And she was given a speech and vowed to put the Ethiopian agenda for the American agenda, and it was an American Congress, an immigrant from another country. And this is what they voted for. Now, two of these people have already lost their primary. Cori Bush, she's out of here. Jamal Bowman from New York, he's up out of here. She may be next. And the reason I bring this up is because there's an agenda there has been a long-standing agenda to make specifically people of color disenfranchised with America. And that was part of the communist playbook. That was part of the infiltration of the Black community. And if you don't believe that Communist Party proper, like there's a Republican Party, a Democrat Party, a Conservative Party, a Tea Party, there is and was a Communist Party proper who held rally in Madison Square Garden, their videotape. They infiltrated the Black community through the South, through people like Martin Luther King. And their agenda was to create a sense of angst or disagreement with the United States by using the age-old trope that you're fighting against colonialism, which is the position of a lot of our brothers and sisters who are a little older than me and you that come from the 60s and 70s. That's their perception.
Now, wait. Now, we got to hit the pause button right there, because I think that's the perfect segue to these people who are like Marc Lamont Hill.
Exactly right.
Marc Lamont Hill. And there's a debate on Hotep Jesus page where it's a brother named Uncle Hotep. He's debating Marc Lamont Hill. Now, after the debate, they open up the phone lines and we all call in. And so the general consensus is that Uncle Hotep lost the debate because he didn't really respond. He kind of let Marc Lamont Hill just run on and talk and do his thing for 80-90% of the debate, right? So it's almost like judging boxers. One boxer has 400 punches, he lands 350, where the other boxer may have the same percentage of accuracy, but his activity was like he might have threw 20 punches and landed 15. So
Got you. Understood.
So But the thing is, by allowing somebody to talk that much, there's so much to sift through afterwards. It was literally a clinic in terms of giving somebody enough rope to hang himself. He said the craziest, like most egregiously, it borders on blatant disrespect, because you're taking for granted again that everybody listening is stupid. So his position, at least the position he's trying to hold or narrate, is that he's neutral. He doesn't even like politics at all. He doesn't have a dog in the race. He doesn't care. 5-10 minutes into the conversation, he's like, yeah, well, have you read her life story? Because I have. And back in the days when me and Kamala used to hang out at BET, and, you know, we was drinking quarter waters and she was dancing the Too Short and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, whoa. What happened to Mr. Where is Mr. Neutral? I don't have a dog in there. What are we talking about right now? My man, like, yo, I got all her pictures from her childhood. I can prove how black she was, because she was in the hood drinking quarter waters and rapping Too Short. And I'm like, wait a minute. Did this nigga just define blackness as drinking quarter waters, listening to Too Short, and wearing hoop earrings? Like, I said, yo, if you don't unpack anything that was said and you just go by who was doing a lot of saying, it's a landslide. Marc Lamont Hill killed him. But if you start to listen and unpack and then take a step back, if any of you watch other platforms, the fact that he literally repeated verbatim, damn near line for line, what he's been saying on other platforms.
And I do mean most of us. Under Trump and under Biden and under Obama. It's not a Democrat-Republican thing. Under all these presidents for the last 10 to 12 years, Black unemployment has been declining. Black unemployment is in the single digits. Black people aren't desperately looking for jobs as much as the world wants you to think. To me, a better argument that y'all could make, if I were Uncle Hotep, who I'm supposed to be debating, I would be saying, y'all act like the sky is falling. Negroes got jobs. Y'all act like the world is on fire under Trump. Negroes got jobs. What are you tripping about? That to me would be a better argument. What I'm saying is we have jobs. And so the people coming over, taking the job, selling oranges, or taking the job, doing childcare, Black people didn't want them. I own a business. I'm looking for people to hire. I can't hire a person, not because I won't hire a Black person, but because Black people aren't looking for jobs in this area because they have jobs. That's all I'm saying. So it's not, I understand how you're saying that your example of the factory contradicts the dominant narrative. It's not that I don't follow your thinking. I disagree. Unlike you, you're saying my stuff doesn't make sense. I'm saying what you're saying makes sense. I just disagree.
I just disagree on that one point. I just don't understand that one point, and I disagree when you said that Black people wouldn't fill those jobs.
I heard you, and my response to what you said is that the difference is for two things. One, you're offering an example that may contradict the dominant narrative, but again, I don't know that example. I haven't seen that example. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I can't speak to it because I don't know. You're asking me to speak to a hypothetical. I don't go by vibes. I need the evidence. But also, sometimes there are outliers. Sometimes there's a single case that is different than the bulk. That's why I gave the white man winning the slam dunk contest example. That factory could be the white man winning the slam dunk contest. I don't know because I don't know that example. Again, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I don't know that example to speak to it. And I don't speak to things I don't know. But yes, I go by the overall numbers. Because if the overall numbers show, it's like when white people say there's no racism, you got a Black president. Well, yeah, he's exceptional, right? He's exceptional. I'm not going to look at the one case in Detroit you're mentioning and ignore the hundreds of thousands or millions of jobs, that follow a particular pattern. That's all I'm saying. I'm going by the pattern. I'm going by the overall number. I'm making a case about the overall picture of Black unemployment, not a specific case. Maybe the situation in Detroit for Mexicans and Blacks is different. It could be. I don't know. I'm not from Detroit. You know what I mean? Uncle Hotep, is he from? No, he's from PA. You're the one who's really familiar with the D.
What?
You're the one who's really familiar with the D. You're the one who's really familiar with the D. I'm more familiar with Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, etc. I don't know the D. You know the D. And so for that reason, I can't speak to it. That's your expertise.
Yo, what just happened?
That's your area.
What just happened?
All that said, I got to run, brothers.
What just happened?
I want to be clear to the audience.
Now it becomes clear that there's an agenda.
Okay, so let me throw something out there. Marc Lamont Hill, all right? Marc Lamont, 1976, American academic, author, activist. So you have a dog in the fight because you're a self-proclaimed activist. He's a professor of urban education at CUNY. And for those who don't know what CUNY is, that is the University of New York Graduate Center in New York. Professor of urban education. These are ran by Democrats. Hill is the host of Up Front on Al Jazeera, VH1 Live. VH1 is owned by Democrats. He's also a BET news correspondent. BET is owned by Democrats. He's the syndicated television show Our World with Black Enterprise, the host of Huffington Post Live. Huffington Post is a Democrat-owned platform. A political commentator on CNN, which is a Democrat-owned platform, and from time to time appears on Fox. In November 2018, he was fired from his position on CNN after receiving criticism for his remarks he made before the United Nations on the Israeli-Palestine conflict. CNN gave no reason for the firing. Hill was born and raised in Philadelphia. When he was 14, Hill met future NBA star Kobe Bryant at a basketball summer camp, and the two became close friends and remained so until Bryant's death. After graduating from Carver High School, a public school in Philadelphia, he attended Morehouse, one of the nation's most selective HBCUs, but dropped out while still a freshman because, in his words, he was only hanging out and getting in trouble. Just to tell y'all what happens in these colleges. He finished his undergraduate studies back home at Temple University, where he received a BS in education and Spanish in 2000. He later earned both an MA and PhD from the University of Pennsylvania. So,
wait a minute, hold on. And I guess whatever that thing is that you just read, I guess they forgot to add in that he was one of Dr. York's top students and top supporters.
Okay, let's conveniently leave that out. So my point is this. My point is it quacks like a duck. It got feathers like a duck. It float like a duck. It eat what a duck eat. I'm gonna make the safe assumption to say that it's a duck.
Listen, after that debate, when the phone lines was opened up, me and the brothers unpacked it, and we came to the conclusion that no, he's definitely getting some quid pro quo. He's definitely getting a bag. There's definitely a bag associated with his programmed, his scripted, his scripted reality, his program he's running on tour. Literally, he's on an internet platform tour, caping for Kamala, right?
Yeah, there was a bag exchange. Without question, it was a bag exchange.
But wait, you just took it further. You just unpacked that every bag that he's ever received, small or large, has been a Democrat bag.
100%. 100%. Now, what's interesting is that he has the Fox News on it. And the thing y'all need to understand is from time to time, they have a show on Fox called The Five. Okay. And on The Five, you have 5 people sitting on there, right? Out of those 5, one of them guys is always a Democrat. Okay. Because they want to appear to be non-biased. I strictly believe that if it's not a local newspaper like what I write, if I read you this article, if I read an article out of my newspaper, there's no spin. It's just what happened. Summer reading club registration open at the library. People need to know that. Ain't no spin there. Trump versus Harris, the high stakes 2024 presidential clash. All I did was report that it was going to be Kamala based on the information in the conversations, quoting the people who said inside the Democratic establishment, it's going to be Kamala. This was before it was announced it was her. This paper came out the Friday before the Sunday that Joe Biden stepped down. Wow. Bellport woman indicted in a hit and run. According to the district attorney, right? Brookhaven unites in fight against food. So my point, in reading this, the Suffolk County Republican chairman calls for, not Raheem the journalist calls for. That's not our job as journalists. Our job as journalists is to say, a car hit a pole, the pole hit the house, the electricity fell, the cops came and cleaned it up.
But let me ask you this. Let me segue a bit. Because you're in a unique position to give certain perspective.
Sure.
I'm just trying to figure out how to word this because the battle rappers was even caping for Biden.
Yeah.
It was like
worst bars of all time, Charlie clips I've ever heard.
Oh my God. It was disgusting.
How you gonna enticing me? Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, what are you gonna do with that belly, man? That belly is clearly causing mental. You sound like you and Biden was educated in like, but what is this connection between the Democrats and the rat? Like, what is this thing that's going on over there?
Okay, pay attention to all of Kamala's rally. Her first rally was Megan Thee Stallion. They're putting on concerts. Remember, Hollywood is in California. If you want to make it in the music industry, there's 3 places you're going to go. New York, Atlanta, or Los Angeles. All 3 are Democrat-controlled havens.
Wow.
California is controlled by Democrats. New York is controlled by Democrats, and Atlanta is controlled by Democrats.